Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to share with you how to run an effective and successful mastermind. I've been doing masterminds for over a decade, and not just here, I'm now doing masterminds all over the world. As a matter of fact, next week, I'm doing a mastermind on a cruise ship, and this is my 11th annual mastermind at sea. So pay close attention to all the principles that goes into effect when you want to run the most powerful mastermind.
I'm on the rocks, guys.
How to run a mastermind. Now, the truth is, I have been running masterminds for over a decade. I don't even think about how to run a mastermind. I just go and run a mastermind. And because I've done it so many times, it's kind of like a master chef. When they go to a kitchen, they don't look at a recipe, because they've done it, the pinch of this, and the masterpiece come out. And I'm not bragging about myself, it's simply because I've done it so many times. You probably have learned about the 4 stages of learning. The first step is unconscious incompetence. That is when you don't know that you don't know. Second is conscious incompetence. Conscious incompetence is when you just learned what you don't know. That is the first step. That's the awareness. That's the awakening that I need to learn. I don't know. That's conscious incompetence. Then comes conscious competence. That is like when you don't know, but you're in the process of learning. Kind of like we were learning how to drive a car. It's like we had to learn a stick shift that we had to coordinate with the clutch and the accelerator and the brake. You're so conscious about it, and then you go, oh, I have to watch the road too? Because you're conscious about everything. When you get over that, the 4th step is unconscious competence. That's when you absolutely are doing things and not totally aware of that you're doing it. It's kind of like if I ask my friends, how did you drive here? Do you even remember anything? Women are putting on lipsticks, makeup in the car, and the driving part of the car is totally unconscious. They just get there. So I'm going to break it down for how to run a mastermind. But before you go over there, let me give you some tips about actually the mastermind itself. If you're going to run a mastermind group, the very first thing is selecting the people. It is really the success of the group will depend on who you surround yourself with. The 2 principles that I live my life with is I said who you associate with and listen to will determine your destiny. And number 2 is none of us is as smart as all of us. If you're sitting at a table and you're the smartest guy, it's time to find a new table. First thing is decide what kind of mastermind group you want to create. Is it a peer group mastermind or is it a diverse industry mastermind? The difference is this: a peer group mastermind, that they all have very much thing in common. For example, when I first started my mastermind group, it was purely real estate gurus, lack of a better word, or real estate investment experts. Not agency side, not a real estate agent or broker. These are real estate investors, people who teach how to master the art and science of real estate investing. And different people have mastered different niche of these. Some people focus on how to buy and flip. That means buy and sell, called wholesaling. So different categories. So I only brought people who has a real estate expertise. It is much easier to create ROI. Or you bring all people who owns auto dealerships. So they all know the business, the lingo, and they don't hear talk about how to do an investment. They talk about when we got together, we never talk about how to buy a house because all of us are doing that. We talked about how to enhance each other's business practices, and we can learn from each other. First thing is decide what kind. These are peer group mastermind. Another group is that you can bring people from different industries. One is a real estate investor, another one is an internet marketer, another one is a professional speaker, different groups of people. One advantage of having that diverse group is that's where innovation, new ideas come from, because all the people, if we're all real estate investors, then of course not very many new ideas come. But when you have a diverse group of people, you find that the same problem that you have, someone in a different industry handles completely different, or they go after lead generation completely different than you do it in your particular industry. And that's where if you can then take that, tailor make it, take the parts that you can apply for your business, oh my God, because no one in your industry is going to do that. That's where you skyrocket. That's where you get 10x kind of results. So that's the first thing that you do, decide. Then the question comes, how big should my mastermind group be? Literally, you know what? The word mastermind has been bastardized. Right now, people have a 100, 2,000 person meeting and they call it a mastermind. That's not a true mastermind. I literally have people, I've gone to a mastermind, I've been invited and they have 100 people. And then some people that have came to my mastermind said, hey man, you kind of spoiled us because that was a true mastermind. And I have tried mastermind as little as 6 people, as much as 20 people. The magic number I found, 10 to 12 is the magic number. The minimum 6, because less than 6, there's not enough electricity, there's not enough firepower in the room. So electricity, so that sometimes, one person is down, that somebody has the spark. So the group of 10 to 12 is the ideal. When I went to 15 to 20, it became too much for me. And all over the places that I have read and studied about mastermind, and others have confirmed also, is that they said 8 to 12 is the ideal size for a mastermind group. Then the question is, does location matter? If I take credit for something, not only location to me is the entire environment. When I started the mastermind, I wanted the mastermind to take place at some place that inspires us. Second, I want to also create a location that's away from people's normal environment. I was doing my mastermind. First, I started at my home office. This is kind of a 6,000 square foot home on the water, and we had a basement. The basement was kind of a walkout basement. You can see the water. So people were inspired in that environment. And I am very, very big on going to places that will lift your spirit. You look out, you feel good, you just being there makes your heart sing. I've acquired later on in Tampa, Florida, I called it my mastermind mansion, a 38,000 square foot, and not for my ego, but then I elevated my mastermind that it was big house, that it had 10 bedrooms, so my mastermind attendees could actually come and live there during the mastermind. It was much higher level. This was the largest home in public records in Hillsborough County where I lived at that time. Just like anything evolves over time, now I take my mastermind locations all over the world. I take people overseas because I believe that mastermind groups have proliferated all over. And there's so many mastermind groups, and I said, how do I differentiate myself from the others? My mastermind used to be strictly 2 days. So these 10 to 12 people will come together for 2 days, which is another question, is that how long should it be? If you have 6 people, you can probably get away with a 1-day mastermind. I give 2-day masterminds for 12 people so that every person we can focus, give them an hour, and then in between some content and masterminding happens so that it takes literally 2 days to complete that. But now I do my mastermind overseas. I believe in creating an experience, an unforgettable, memorable experience while doing the mastermind. And since we're going to a foreign country, we usually fly 10, 12, 15, 20 hours to get there. It doesn't make sense to stay there for 2 days to do mastermind and come back. I've expanded it to 7 days, and in my mastermind now, to differentiate myself from all the other masterminds, I now add many more things to give people the ROI, return on investment, that is more than beyond the mastermind, the idea generated. So I create what I give them ICE: influence, credibility, and exposure. So I make them through that one mastermind, I make them more influential and adds more credibility to who they are and massive exposure in that country where we do whole media day to make a difference. So mastermind location is a place. It's not going to a local Denny's and getting a room on the side. To me, does not inspire me. Go to a mountain resort. Go to a retreat place. Even if you're doing it in a home, go away from your normal home and find a place that really inspires you, whether it's on the beach, on a mountaintop, or some kind of a resort that you can take a room, get people together away from their normal environment. A mastermind, to be an effective mastermind, you have to create an agenda. If you want to know how to run an effective mastermind, follow the 5 P's of the Army's motto. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Prior planning prevents poor performance. Everything about the mastermind is pre-planned. From the moment before they come, there's a whole bunch of things that you do to set their mindset, preparation correctly, so that they know that they have to come prepared to present. And what they're presenting is their biggest challenge that they're facing right now. What is the one problem that's stopping them from going to the next level in their either personal or professional life? Right there is the first thing. If you can solve that problem, and this is where the collective input comes in. So where that one person goes into the front and call it your hot seat, and now they're sharing that this is my problem, and whether it's sales, whether it's retention of their employees, whatever it is that they're sharing, chances are, here's the beauty of a mastermind, is that the other people have gone through that issue. And so they're giving you best practices. How did they come out of it? Here's another important point that I want to make is that people come to the mastermind and they're preparing. They said, if I have this one problem, can solve it, then great. But what happens is, let's say we're all real estate investors. We're investment gurus. When they're sharing up their problem, I think, oh my God, I have that problem. I didn't even know that I had that problem. So now, from vicariously living through their problem, I just eliminated having that problem in advance. People come to me and say that, oh my God, I learned so much when they were talking about their problem, and my problem seemed like insignificant compared to their problem, and I want to prevent that from ever happening to me. So that was one of their biggest takeaway. The 3 reasons, I say, the overarching reasons why people join a mastermind is, number 1 is to solve problems, number 2 is share resources, and number 3 is find new opportunities. These should go into your agenda. And if you just do these things that, hey, help people solve their problem and talk about what resources have you found that's helped you in your business, and then the third is, are there new opportunities? I am the master of doing joint ventures. I'm the master at connecting people to do joint ventures. That's the number 1 way people get ROI instantly, is from the doing joint ventures with each other within the group. And we also connect people that, hey, I know someone who's an ideal JV partner for you. Do these 3 things, people will just come back over and over again to your mastermind. And if you like this video, and if you want more, guess what? I have a special gift for you. Just click the link below or right over here, and you will know everything about how to run an effective mastermind.